One of the latest features of LabChart version 6.1 for Windows is to perform signal averaging, either by number of samples or by time. Signal averaging can be performed using the smoothing feature from channel calculation or the drop-down menu of each channel. First, we'll start with signal averaging by the number of samples. We'll select an unused channel first off that does not contain any recorded data. Channel will suit our purposes for this. We'll select the smoothing feature from the drop-down menu of channel 2 here. In this dialog, we can first choose our source channel, which is in this case channel 1. We select our smoothing type, which is averaging or decimation option from the list of smoothing types. And then we select the samples in the window width and enter the number of samples that we want. In this case, we'll start with 100 samples. And we click OK. If we now select the Start button, we can see that we are generating a signal average in channel 2 of our raw source channel 1. Choosing samples displays the average of the source channel based on the number of samples. For example, if 100 samples were selected, as it is in channel 2, calculates a 100 sample point average of the signal in channel 1. If the data is recorded at 1 kilohertz, as it's set here, or 1,000 samples per second, the result in channel 2 is a 0.1 second average of channel 1 in real time. Conversely, a 0.25 second average of a signal recorded at 1 kilohertz requires the number of samples to be 250, which we've configured in the smoothing dialog of channel 3 here. Channel 4 and channel 5 have been similarly set up with 500 sample and 1,000 sample window widths. There's also an option of averaging the signal using time rather than the number of sample points. In this case, we first need to select an unused channel. Again, we'll use channel 2 that doesn't contain any recorded data. We'll open the smoothing dialog in the drop-down menu of the channel. We'll keep the averaging or decimation as our smoothing type and channel 1 as our source channel. Instead of using samples, though, we'll select seconds and we'll type in the seconds required for our averaging, in this case 0.1, and we'll click OK. And you can see, if I click the Start button, that the results are the same. Similarly, I could set up each of these channels with the corresponding time instead of sample option. Channel 4 could be in seconds, could be 0.5. Channel 5 could be in seconds at 1. And we'll click the Start button again. You can see we're getting the same results using time instead of samples.